Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one-handed swords, exploring how different cultures perfected this deadly art form. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at swords the same way again. One-handed swords feature a compact grip designed for single-hand operation, making them perfect for pairing with shields or secondary weapons, each serving both attacking and defensive roles. Let's journey through the evolution of one-handed swords across ancient times, the medieval era, and the late modern period, examining their regional differences, cultural significance, and technological innovations. Ancient era, 3000 BCE to 500 CE. The ancient era witnessed the emergence of great civilizations, including Egypt, Greece, and Rome, the dawn of the Iron Age, and eventually the collapse of the Roman Empire. Early blades crafted from copper and bronze were fragile and unreliable, but the discovery of iron revolutionized warfare with stronger, more resilient weapons. 1. Khopesh, Egypt. The word Khopesh, translating to animal's foreleg, describes one of ancient Egypt's most iconic weapons, a distinctive sickle-shaped blade. Its hooked design featured sharpening along the outer curve, making it perfect for chopping and dragging down enemy shields during close-quarters battle. 2. Xiphos, Greece. The leaf-shaped, dual-edged Xiphos functioned as a backup weapon for Greek hoplites, supporting their primary spears when fighting got personal. Military expert Mike Loades characterizes the Xiphos as a front-heavy weapon, excellent for both chopping and stabbing attacks. The Xiphos became the quintessential blade of classical and Hellenistic Greece. 3. Kopis, Greece. Sometimes called the Mashira, the Kopis featured a curved or hooked blade, sharpened along the inner edge, delivering devastating axe-like strikes while maintaining a sword's superior reach. Greek cavalry particularly favored this weapon due to its exceptional cutting power. 4. Falcata, Iberia. Thought to be created by the Iberians as their own version of the Greek Kopis, the Falcata shares many characteristics, but stands out with its double-edged blade extending halfway down its length. Carthaginian forces wielded Falcatas during their conflicts with Rome in the Punic Wars. 5. Gladius, Rome. The Gladius represents the famous dual-edged short sword carried by Roman legionaries. While it transformed over time from slightly tapered blades to straight-edged variants, all versions were engineered for both thrusting and slashing attacks. Military historian Richard Gabriel declares, "It eliminated more soldiers than any other weapon in history before gunpowder was invented." 6. Spatha, Rome. The Spatha was an extended straight blade used by Roman mounted troops. Military archaeologist M.C. Bishop observed that Roman cavalry combined the Spatha with spears and javelins to pursue and strike down retreating enemies. The Spatha later influenced medieval European blade design, developing into the arming sword with its distinctive crossguard. Medieval era, 500 CE to 1400 CE. The Middle Ages stretched from Rome's fall to the Renaissance's beginning. As kingdoms rose, feudalism took hold, and Christianity spread, swords transformed into symbols of military elite and aristocracy, representing their position and prosperity. 1. Viking sword. Developing from the Spatha, the Viking sword was a single-handed weapon throughout the Viking Age, the 9th to 11th centuries, and frequently combined with shields. Since chopping strikes were standard Viking combat tactics, they primarily employed their swords as slashing instruments. 2. Arming sword. Known also as the knightly sword, the one-handed arming sword featured a cross-shaped guard and typically paired with a buckler. It saw widespread use during the 12th and 13th century Crusades. Earlier models had wide blades for slashing against mail armor, while later versions adapted to armor improvements, featuring pointed tips for piercing plate armor. Hey, if you're enjoying this journey through sword history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got tons more fascinating weapon content coming your way. 3. Falchion. The falchion came in two distinct styles, a heavy, unbalanced machete-style cleaver for thrusting or a clip-point blade for effective cutting and stabbing. Both knights and light infantry, including archers and spearmen, utilized falchions in battle. 4. Lange Messer, Germany. Built for slashing attacks, the Lange Messer, meaning long knife, was a one-handed sword with a slightly curved blade, powerful enough to completely sever a hand with one strike. Similar to contemporary saber fencing, it's typically wielded single-handed with the offhand positioned behind the back.
Renaissance era, 1400 to 1700. The Renaissance bridged medieval times and the modern world. During this period, swords became common among both military personnel and civilians, with dueling serving as the preferred method for honorably resolving conflicts. 1. Katzbalger, Germany. Most recognizable by its figure-8 or S-shaped guard, the Katzbalger served as the short sword for German mercenary soldiers called Landsknechts. With its wide, double-edged blade, archers, crossbowmen, and pikemen used it to slash opponents in close combat. 2. Rapier. Rapiers are one-handed thrusting weapons with slender blades and razor-sharp points, initially developed for civilian self-defense and duels. Eventually, they became symbols of fashion, court culture, and formal dueling. Different hilt styles like cup-shaped or swept hilts were available. Early practitioners often combined them with parrying daggers, and some also employed bucklers or cloaks for protection. 3. Highland basket-hilted broadsword, Scotland. Also known as a claymore, the Scottish basket-hilted broadsword emerged from preferences for lightweight weapons and minimal armor while still protecting the wielder's hand. As a single-handed weapon, it allowed combining with a Scottish dirk or dagger alongside a targe or shield. 4. Mortuary sword, England. Numerous cavalrymen during the English Civil War carried the mortuary sword, named for its similarity to King Charles I's death mask. It typically featured straight single or double-edged blades, a half-basket hilt resembling human ribs, and a grotesque mask design. 5. Schiavona, Italy. Another basket-hilted weapon is the Italian schiavona, meaning Slavonic, referencing the Dalmatian soldiers who used them serving the Venetian Republic. The Venetian broadsword's distinctive basket hilt almost invariably features a pommel shaped like a cat's head. 6. Small sword. Evolving from the longer rapier, the one-handed small sword was a dueling weapon and civilian tool designed for thrusting. Most notable for its small cup and knuckle guard, it was used throughout Western Europe near the end of the 17th century and served as a status symbol. 7. Talwar or Tulwar, India. The Talwar or Tulwar is a curved blade introduced to the Indian subcontinent following Muslim conquests. Extensively used during the Mughal Empire by cavalry, it was renowned for powerful slashes capable of splitting helmets. It continued being used even after the British East India Company expanded control over India in the 18th and 19th centuries. 8. Kilij, Ottoman. The Kilij was the signature Ottoman sword used by cavalry across Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa until the 19th century. This saber is distinguished by its pistol grip and curved blade featuring a flared tip called a yelman or false edge to improve cutting ability. 9. Shamshir, Persia. The Persian Shamshir, with its deeply curved tapering blade, became popular throughout the Middle East and India during the 16th and 17th centuries. This effective slashing weapon for both cavalry and infantry also allowed thrusting the tip through enemies. 10. Kastane, Sri Lanka. The Kastane, Sri Lanka's national sword, is closely connected to the Sinhalese kingdom of Kandy. It features a distinctive hilt shaped like a lion's head, simha, symbolizing the kingdom's emblem. Beyond combat use by Kandyan warriors or ceremonies, kings also presented it to chieftains and nobles as symbols of rank and authority. 11. Keris, Indonesia. Originating from Java, Indonesia, the straight or wavy double-edged keris is believed to possess spiritual power and holds cultural importance in Thailand, Brunei, Malaysia, and the Philippines. It's designed for thrusting, so it was traditionally worn by high-ranking individuals and used to execute criminals. Late Modern Era, 1700 to 1945. The late modern period experienced numerous revolutions, both political and industrial, that transformed warfare. The invention of portable firearms made swords obsolete, though in Western armies, cavalry units kept swords as combat weapons the longest. 1. Hanger. Often termed a hunting sword, the hanger is a short sword with straight or curved blades. Originally part of formal hunting gear, it later became standard military equipment in several armies during the 18th century. Hangers proved more practical in challenging terrain than longer swords. 2. Shashka. The Shashka, a traditional weapon of Cossacks, Russians, and Ukrainians, has a saber-like blade and one-handed grip primarily used for slashing while mounted. Paired with the shorter kinjal when on foot, saber charges using Shashkas were documented as late as World War I. 3. Kukri, Nepal. The traditional Nepalese kukri is linked with Nepalese Gurkha warriors who wielded it during World War II. Due to its short forward curving blade, providing exceptional chopping and slashing capabilities, it's effective for combat and clearing thick jungle. It's allegedly capable of disemboweling a horse or delivering fatal blows with a single strike. 4. Flyssa, North Africa. The Flyssa is a unique sword of the Kabyles from Algeria and Morocco, featuring a straight single-edged blade with an extended point, guardless hilt, and stylized animal head pommel. Originally designed to pierce chainmail armor, acquiring a Flyssa was a coming-of-age ritual for young Kabyle men and remained in use in parts of Africa until the 19th century. Conclusion. And there you have it, the incredible evolution of one-handed swords throughout human history. From the curved Khopesh of ancient Egypt to the spiritual Keris of Indonesia, each weapon tells a story of innovation, culture, and survival. These weren't just tools of war, they were symbols of status, works of art, and extensions of their wielders' souls. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're constantly exploring the fascinating world of historical swords. What's your favorite one-handed sword from today's list? Drop a comment below and let us know. Until next time, keep exploring history's greatest swords.